things. It's, I don't know, well after 3, probably 3:30. And I just got done watching an interesting movie. What do a mafia family, some inbred pizza makers, let's see, mafia family, inbred pizza makers, a devil cloning experiment, and oh yes, and a mad gardener have in common. They are all part of 4 short stories that look like they've been made with, if I had to guess, public access cable money or something to that effect. It's kind of creep show if it's not done by Stephen King or George Romero. It's kind of like one of those things. Basically, it's Dr. Shock's Tales of Terror. Now, in order to appreciate this film, one has to, one has to be a big fan of the gore factor. There's a lot of gore in this one. This is probably one of the better gory films, though. In terms of cinematic and cinematography type of deal, it's pretty decent. It's got some good gore scenes and whatnot. The acting is meh. Yeah. It's basically I guess it's basically all the same cast members. They each do each episode pretty much. It's the same names. And they're all low budget names. I've never heard of really any of these people. And it's probably a straight to video movie. Hello, Jasmine. Probably a straight to video movie. Probably very well, of course it's camcorder footage too. It's what some people would call shot on shitio. Although, to be fair, it's not. I've seen worse. I mean, if we're going to talk about shot on shitio, we could talk about Cannibal Campout, which was, filmed back in the mid-90s? Early 90s? Yeah, that was pretty bad. And the acting in this one is actually better than Cannibal Campout, which really doesn't say much because, it's not really huge name actors or anything like that. The movie itself, the first film is called Bullet for a Vampire. And it's probably not to spoil it too much, but it's probably the best story in the series, or at least in this particular one. I don't know if they've made any more or not. Let's see. That's the mafia family and their daughter. Basically, what happens is a gypsy woman gets whacked, and the daughter meets someone who saves her, and then turns out to be a vampire, and you know the rest. Take a guess, pretty much. Not to spoil it too much, but that's pretty cut and dry. The next one is called The Town That Loved Pizza. Not exactly the best title for a horror film. And it's these two inbred-looking characters that kind of look like a cross between the Dudley Boys and pick any trauma movie you can think of, pretty much. Probably Mother's Day would be the best example that I can think of. It's kind of a cross between those two things. And they make pizza out of, it's meat pizza, so I'll let you guess. The third story is a mad gardener. Something about the gardener of death or something like that. I can't remember. Garden tools of death or something. And it's basically a guy running around with garden tools, taking people out, like with a lawnmower, a weed whacker, that sort of thing. Not bad. Story-wise, it wasn't, they could only do so much in whether it was 10 or 15 minute intervals, pretty much. The last story is called Demon Day. My problem with Demon Day is it was actually a good story. Costuming was decent. Sound effects were good. Everything like that. My only problem with Demon Days is it was too short. It was too short a film. They could have done a lot more with that film. I mean, that's just my thought. And of course, Dr. Shock was the host, and he's kind of this character with X-ray goggles and kind of like a devil's goatee type of deal, and he's dressed in a smock, and it was pretty good. I mean, his setup was decent. He was like the narrator or the host of the show, and of course he's got all his props look like they came from that magazine there, that catalog. Morris, was it Morris? Costumes. Looks like it came from that place. And I don't know if that did or not. But, it kind of looks like those props. If you're familiar with them. So, in any event, this is Jasmine. In any event, if you get a chance, you can probably find it on public domain, or like in the big box set. The big box set I found it in was The Crypt of Nightmares, which is a 50 video setup, 12 discs roughly. But anyway, you can probably find that at some music store or something. So, that's pretty much it for this edition of the Grindhouse. And until next time, fare thee well.